Now, I'm often getting asked, it might seem a bit of a silly question to some of you guys and girls out there, how, what, why, when and where do I situate stuff in the area that I'm fishing? Well, first of all, it's got to be comfort and it's got to be safety in mind, okay? But the fishing situation, I've split the rods. Now the right hand rod is whoop out in the middle there, straight in line with that chap over there. So I've kept a gap between the right and the middle and left because A, I like to have separate bank sticks, and B, these two are fished off way off to the left, a lot closer in, but it keeps them lined separate. The tips, let me tell you why the tips are underwater. It's not something I usually do. 1 o'clock this morning and 2:30 this morning, the swans wiped me out. So I would normally have them up tight, probably a foot off the surface. I'm not worried about fish scaring on the lines because it's quite a shallow lake, this one. And I think after about 40 yards out there, your line's on the lake. But anyway, so that's why the tips are down, care of swans fighting in my swim, and that's why my eyes are like this today, because I've been up all night readdressing, should we say, the rods, trying to scare the swans away. Right, we've got a net either side of the setup. This does make sense. I've used 2 nets for years and years and years. It doesn't mean you're looking flash or it's an ego thing. Lots of my friends have started doing this now. I got it from my match fishing days when I used to fish the BCACs a lot with Phil De Silva. You'll have, you're on venues with multiple takes, so you need to have 2 nets. Bang, a rod goes off, you're playing it, bang, another rod. I see so many people with 1 net, 2 fish in a net. Now you've got a problem, haven't you? You've got to try and separate the fish. Something's going to get hurt, and it's generally going to be the fish. So 2 nets. Over to here. Spod rod's tucked away, out of the way of everything. I will move that when a fish gets caught because it's directly behind the unhooking mat. Now we're only going to bring the fish, what are we, about 15 foot here to the unhooking mat. Okay, which is a nice padded side. Look at the thickness on that mattress. Nothing's going to get hurt and nothing's getting out of there. Okay, in that, the scales are 0 onto my waistling, which sits in there nicely. We bring the fish in with the net, drop the net, slide the net away, dispose of it over there. The fish is now in there, ready. Scale, unless it's pouring down with rain, these can sit near the mat. Okay, ordinarily, and we've got a little pocket here for the propolis, which is, obviously you apply that to any sores. Here we go, look. Any sores, hook holds, any tears on the fish, any lifted scales. It's all with fish safety in mind. This whole thing is about that. Water bucket, you'll notice that's empty. For the last couple of months, we've had ridiculously hot weather. Now, I've seen people, and it just needs a nudge in the right direction, having buckets of water sitting there for hours on end waiting to catch a fish. Well, that water, by the time you pour it on that fish, it's going to be quite warm. So even though it's quite cool today, I'll fill it up if and when I catch a fish, pour it on there. Again, talking about hot weather, bear in mind, if you are prepping this, okay, in advance, the sun's on it. So if you lift a fish from the lake, plop it straight on there, you could end up burning the flank of the fish. So again, cool water straight from the lake, swish it around a bit, wet the mat down, make sure it's nice and cool. Another fresh bucket of water ready to apply to the fish to keep him wet. So that is all there. Okay. Now, left of the bivvy, we've got. All right. Take your time. Take your time. Well, I was just going to take you over to the wrapping sticks, whatever you want to call them, the yard sticks. But we were rudely interrupted, weren't we, by the guy holding the camera up now, young Stephen, who managed everything now. Do you know what? We've just talked our way through this lot and it come in handy, didn't it? Look, it's all wet. Look, everything of mine now, not his, mine, is soaking wet. Koi tail common, £30. Well done, Steve. Now that, yes, not that it matters. We'll move on from that now. All wet. Right, the wrapping sticks. We all use them and they are an essential part of our kit now for accurate fishing, aren't they? Make sure they're away from the bivvy area. Now, 2 in the morning, you've had a fish. I want to wrap them. I don't want to be falling over buckets. I don't want to be catching all the foliage around there. So they're away from the bivvy. You're here, 12-foot rod, bush brush bass, clip it up. You're fishing again, yeah? Keep them out of the way. Baits at the side of the bivvy, scoops, everything you see here is where it should be. I'm absolutely atrocious for being OCD. So the bivvy I'm using now, if the Hilton, that group of hotels called the Hilton, if they made bivvies, this would be it. The Magnum 100 from Carter Spirit, my choice. I'm going to quickly go through that. My barrow's out of the way. Well, there you go. My barrow's at the back out of the way. Safety in mind again. 2 rear vents, keep a flow through of air. Little pockets to keep your bits and bobs in, keep them off the floor. It comes, you will get it with a solid front, and you can buy a mesh front. So people, you can see out and people can't see in. Quite handy for a lot of carp anglers, I'm telling you, we won't go into that. Right, Crocs, if I'm running out to it, I'm taking the night pair of Crocs, hook baits, everything is to hand. Cooking stuff is over there, so again, 2 in the morning, I'll come fumbling out of here. I'm not kicking stuff over, am I? The bivvy is well back from the rods in this. We're not fishing to snags, it's open water fishing, so the bivvy is well back from the rods. You're not going to hit it with your spom, you're not going to try and cast the bivvy out and snap your rod. I see so many people doing that, the bivvy's right against the rods, and then they're not fishing accurately anyway. Enough of that. So everything is built for comfort here. So with safety in mind, okay, i.e. you're back here, you're not going to hook anything, okay? Nice and comfortable. Modern carp angling isn't like it was, I mean, I'm 60 now, it isn't like it was when I was 20, that little man behind the cameras. Nowadays, you can have everything you want, like at home, creature comforts from home, and catch a lot of carp. So safety in mind, be comfortable, you fish better then, get on with it. And with that in mind, notice there's 2 cups there. One's his and one's mine. Kettle's going on. Thank you very much. Oh, my nice little chair there, look. I can sit and look out. You know, the whole thing of being in a guest chair, it's a bit ridiculous, really. The name says it all, doesn't it? I never get to sit in it. I carry that around on my barrow and the guest sits in it. So we can stay in the van next time. But thank you for watching. That's how I address my swim.